Hello everyone, I'm Amit Hinduja, working as a tech architect with Sistango Technologies. Today we're going to talk about progressive web apps. The topics that we're going to cover here are a brief introduction, why PWA, its mobile experience, development stacks that can be used, and their pros and cons. Now, what is a PWA? It isn't a new framework or technology. It is a set of best practices to make a web application look and function just like a mobile application. The goal here is to have an experience so uniform and seamless that the user is unable to tell the difference between a progressive web app and a native application. Now, let us look at a quick video. As you can see here, it is hard to tell if this is a native application or a web page. This is actually a PWA, built with JavaScript, which looks and functions just like a mobile application. This is what you can achieve with progressive web apps without the hassle of releasing native apps for different app stores. Now, let's talk about the problems faced by native applications today. The biggest problems native apps face are internet speeds. You may not realize this depending on where you're staying, but 60% of the world's population is still using 2G internet, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes to download a small application, so you're losing on that 60% potential traffic. It is normal human tendency to not do what you're asked to do. So when you're asked to download a new application, you'll never do it. On an average, a normal user does not install any new applications in a calendar month. With a fast-moving world, the average attention span has reduced so it is very challenging to keep users engaged with their application, and most users are not actively engaged. Users spend most of their time on their top 4 to 5 applications. Here is where PWA comes to the rescue. From the moment a user downloads an app to the moment they start interacting with it, everything happens consistently fast because it does not require the user to download a 30 MB application. Rather, it is as simple as opening a web page in your mobile browser. They feel and behave like native apps. They sit in a user's home screen and can send push notifications just like native applications. The experience feels seamless and integrated. Now, they are more reliable because you can cache data and access it anytime, even without an internet connection. These are some problems that the PWA solve. Now, let us look at a quick video and the potential that progressive web apps hold.
What does it take to create a mobile experience like no other? It takes pushing the boundaries of design, pushing the boundaries of technology. It takes pushing the boundaries of just about everything. The experience begins right on your home screen. It has interactions that are smooth and responsive, and pages that load fast and look clean. What happens when you're offline? It just works. You can revisit your recent navigations and searches. So, how do you get this experience? Visit Flipkart.com on your Android phone today and simply add this to your home screen. This is Flipkart Lite, a new, exciting mobile shopping experience created with some of the latest technologies.
Now, you all saw what potential PWA holds. Just add to your home screen to keep the feel of a native application. Service workers is a bit technical that we're going to cover in follow-up sessions. Push and hardware API support. HTTPS makes it secure. Web manifest is another topic that we'll cover later on. It is a client-side app because once you have served something, it will always be accessible, even without an internet connection. Isn't it interesting to know about the potential of PWS? I'm sure now you'd like to know how PWS can be built. Now, here are some technology stacks that can be used to develop PWS. We will just be talking about these three, but there are a lot more front-end frameworks that can be used to build PWS. So, talking about Angular, built by Google and released in 2010 as AngularJS. Since then, they have rewritten the framework completely and released it as Angular version 2 through 8, with 8 being launched just a few months ago. Google is always first to the race, but Facebook was not going to stay behind, so they released React.js in 2013. Today, all Facebook products run on React.js, be it Instagram, WhatsApp Web, or Facebook.com itself. We also have Ionic, which basically provides a wrapper on top of the JavaScript framework you want to use, be it React or Angular on the back. With Ionic, you can build progressive web apps and convert those directly to native applications. So if your plan is to launch an application with PWA, then it's best to go with Ionic, as you can do both with the same code base. Now, this is all about developing PWAs. Let's talk about some big applications who have launched their PWAs in the past couple of years. Twitter, Flipkart, even Tinder released their PWAs in the last couple of years. Let's talk a little more about one of these. What effect did the PWA bring to their business? Let's talk about Tinder. Tinder was actually able to increase the active user base by 20%. You don't have to download a 30 MB application anymore before starting to swipe. The PWA stats show that within 4 to 5 seconds of loading, users were able to start swiping. So instead of waiting for the application to download, you simply open to Tinder web, and within 5 seconds you can start swiping. The PWA proved to be very beneficial for the company and its users. It increased user engagement tenfold. Now, just like two sides of a coin, every new technology and framework has their pros and cons. Let's start with the advantages because everybody likes the dessert first. First and foremost, it is very fast, loads instantly. An application like Tinder, which has a lot of user interactions and images, loads within 4 to 5 seconds of entering the URL. Being new in the business, you don't need an app store to launch your application and pay a commission. All the users need to do is go to your website, add it to your home screen, and they're good to go. As this does not need an app store, you can push updates more frequently, which are available to the users on subsequent reloads. You don't have to wait for approvals to push simple fixes or time-sensitive content to the users. Now what happens when you're offline? It just works. PWAs can cache data, which is available even without an internet connection. Now on the flip side, as PWAs don't require an app store, you are missing on app store users. Mobile users have a tendency to trust native applications over web applications. So once the user is engaged enough with your application, they will most certainly go to the app store to download the native application, and you will miss on those users. PWAs use the mobile web engine to execute code. So they tend to have a higher battery usage than a native application. And because they run on web engine of the device, they do not have access to the various device capabilities like its native UI kit, accelerometer, and a lot more. Hence, it is recommended to have both PWAs as well as native applications. But PWAs provide a very good start for a new business, as nobody is going to install an application that's just been launched in the market. So they'll rather go to the mobile web and use it. If it keeps them engaged enough, they're going to keep on using it. Now, with that, I'd like to conclude this talk. Thank you.